Now let's talk about yet another very common expression. I would call it an Indian expression, which actually may have severe repercussions. For example, we usually say, I passed out in the year so and so. Passed out actually means getting unconscious. It means getting unconscious after getting drunk. So passed out may be substituted with graduated, because we usually graduate from one level to the other. So whenever you use you want to talk about passing a certain class or a certain level, you can say or write in your CVs, graduated in the year. And we usually talk about the latest degree that we've got. So we don't say I passed out BTech, passed out MTech, and I PhD'd. No. So we just say I graduated with a double master's, or I graduated with my master's in computer science, or whatever your subject is. So next time, don't use passed out. Out of station is another expression which has become so popular that we do not even think whether it means anything or not. Yes, people who are there in our who are there from the same culture, they understand the meaning of out of station. But if you are to interact with somebody who is not aware of the cultural implications of language, or who is not aware of Indian English, will not understand out of station. So it's easier to say he is not here at the moment, or he is not he's out of town. I think it's a very good substitute for out of station. Another expression which is very common, and usually it's the faculty members who tell you, or even the call center people when you call them up for any query. The first thing they say is, do one thing. Do one thing, switch off the phone, or switch off your laptop, switch it on again, reboot it again, and things like that. So do one thing actually need not be said at all. We can do away with this phrase altogether. We can substitute it with, you may switch off or switch on. You may not do one thing. This is something which is extremely common. However, it's not a very good practice. Another very interesting part is using the present continuous for a continuous activity which we do. For example, we take a lot of things. We are taking a bath, we are taking food, we are taking tea, coffee, food, we are taking tensions. Now we usually don't say take or taking rest. We usually don't use taking in front of these things. We just use the word itself. For example, kindly rest, not kindly take rest, because rest itself is a word, and there's nothing to take in rest. Of course, you take an exam, not give an exam. For that you can use take. Having. I am having a class, I am having a headache, I am having a stomach ache. There's so many times your headache right from the first minute to the last minute will actually remain the same. So you generally say, I have a headache and I have a class. So I think if we can, to a large extent, do away with these expressions and substitute them with simpler ones, it would make communication more effective, and I think clarity, which is one of the C's of communication, would actually be met. We would be more clear in our speech, and people would understand us in a much better way without being judgmental about how we are or our personality.